Welcome to our work session business meeting of September 11th, 2025. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stand for a moment of silence.
We're going to get that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'd like to stop for a moment before we start to reflect on the anniversary of September 11th.
Your mic, Barbara.
Let me start again. Okay, I'm going to start the meeting with a moment of reflection on the anniversary of September 11th for those who died that day and in the 24 years since, right up till today. Thank you. And I was thinking before I came about our theme for this year is resiliency, and I think what our country has been resilient in the face of real tragedy. So hopefully we can all learn from that. All right, I'd like to open it up to the public to speak on any of the listed agenda items.
So I'm going to jump in real quick. So we do have a couple new faces at the table with us this evening, so I want to welcome them. So everybody in the viewing public, the thousands of people watching live right now, know who we're being joined with this evening. So I would like to welcome two of our three building reps are here now, but I do believe Sophia will be joining us after her soccer game. So I want to welcome Maria and Eliana. They will be our board reps for the year, and I'll give you guys a chance to just sort of your name, you can give your full name, what grade you're in, and anything else pertinent you want to share.
Hi, I'm Eliana. I'm a senior here.
Just pull that mic a little closer to you so you should be able to hear yourself. Yeah.
Hello?
There you go.
I'm Eliana. I'm a senior here, PBHS.
My name is Maria, and I'm also a senior here.
Outstanding.
So we're so happy that you're here. We really are.
So we had the opportunity to meet this afternoon, so I met with the three board reps. We spoke a little bit about what to expect and how their meetings will run, and really sort of the ultimate theme was how valuable their words are and how everyone appreciates what the student point of view is, and they should feel as open and willing to speak as they're comfortable doing. So I did tell them about the student board report a few hours ago, so we literally don't have one this evening. So we will not have a student report this evening, but moving forward, they're aware, and we certainly welcome them to be part of this important work. So welcome, ladies.
And if we ask you questions, it's not because we're trying to put you on the spot, it's because we really want to know what you think. You can speak for yourself or your class or your school or kids in general, students in general. Okay, so
Sam,
welcome.
I also promised them each meeting would end by 8:30 p.m.
Oh, there you go.
So, see.
Did you also
I like hearing that.
Yeah, they have 9 p.m. bedtimes, very strict.
That's right. That's right.
If only. Okay, so we're going to start with the consent agenda. Item number 1, please.
Okay, resolve to approve the consent agenda items as presented to the Board of Education at this meeting, items 1 through 10.
Second.
Questions or comments? Melody, you want to go through them, or do you want?
The consent agenda item consists of the following: minutes from the August 21st board meeting, special education placements, amended substitute listing, revised staff member list for academic eligibility and after-school suspension, additional hours for staff members, unpaid leave of absence, internal claim auditor's report for August 27th and September 4th, and the warrants for August 2025.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments about those items? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolutions pass. So we're going to start with presentations today. Dr. Luff said the students aren't going to report today, but he has a report. This way you can't steal his thunder, because usually you tell stuff that he was going to talk about. All right, you're on, Dr. Luft.
Regional plan? No. Which one's he doing first? The regional plan? Okay.
I think he's doing back to school first.
All right, right, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. See, I did the same thing with the mic. Don't worry about it. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is our first official board meeting of the new school year. So rather than my regular report, we have an opening of school presentation that really embeds much of the information I would otherwise share during my superintendent's report. So we'll jump in and get started. So we say welcome. We begin, as we usually do, with our core values. So the district core values represent what we believe in as a school community and guide our work as we continue to move forward. This year's district goal will be centered on resiliency. So this is a draft goal. This is something I came up with, but our administrative team will be meeting next week to review what our goal is. But we do know it'll be centered on resiliency. So resiliency is the third of our 4 core values. After community, opportunity, we're up to resiliency. So if you want to guess what next year's goal will be around, anybody?
No, we're good.
You're good?
Empowerment.
Empowerment's good. That's the E for core values. So our proposed goal centered on resiliency is the district will cultivate resilience in both students and staff by creating supportive environments that value perseverance, adaptability, and continuous growth. By fostering a culture of resilience, our district will ensure that all members of our learning community are prepared to navigate adversity, embrace change, and thrive academically, professionally, and personally. So that's our draft goal, and for our next board meeting, we'll have a goal that we hope the board will adopt. Some more of our students on their first day back at school. So as we do each year during the Superintendent's Conference Day, we welcome our new staff members. So while I won't read all of their names and make them stand up and be embarrassed like we did during the Superintendent's Conference Day, I did want to at least recognize them. This will be posted on the website, so anyone can refer to them. We have many new staff members across all 3 buildings, district office. In fact, we have several staff members that are either assuming new titles or additional responsibilities, as some would call it, and other staff members that actually moved into another position within the district, an aide becoming a teaching assistant, a monitor becoming an aide. So we like to see growth within our ranks, and there are several examples of that within our new staff members this year. So just a quick look at our enrollment. Obviously, we'll continue to review this as the high school does as the buildings do their presentations, as well as our school report card presentation that Jackie will lead later this fall. But our high school is currently at 516 students. That's 19 less students than we had last year. Our middle school is at 474 students, so 22 additional students than we had last year in that building. We actually just completed a building tour with the board members, and one of the things we focused on was the need for an additional classroom. So we created a new classroom space by moving offices and small group instruction spaces. But that addition of 22 students reflects the need for an additional classroom within that building. Our elementary school sees an overall decline of 12 students to 524. And as we'll talk several times during this presentation, we welcomed our first universal pre-K class and consisting 2 classrooms consisting a total of 40 students housed in the modular building behind the elementary school. So during our tour, we reviewed many of these new facilities. As I had mentioned earlier, middle school instructional spaces. We took out an office and a small group instructional space and made another full-size classroom. And we reutilized an existing space, an underutilized space, to move that small group instruction space and that office into the center of the building where we were not allowed to have what's considered a full-size classroom. We actually just toured our turf track and surrounding area work. It is the turf has been complete. In fact, we've had several games out there already. The track was actually lined this evening, so we expect that work is now complete. So we're working on some ancillary work around the outside of the track, a retaining wall, and some additional paving, as well as stairs that lead up to the middle school. And then that will be the completion of our work. We are proud to share that we actually have not our first game scheduled to take place on the turf was in fact held there. We've already had a football game on the turf. We had to move a couple games just so they could line the track for the last 2 days. But tomorrow's football game, again, will be back on the turf, and we expect no other events to be canceled. So while it was a lot of work that was done this summer, a tremendous job by Dave Spittle working with our contractors to ensure we met the deadlines we set forth. While the work is not yet complete, it's not holding up our athletic activities out there on that space. So we're thrilled for that. If you haven't had a chance to come check it out, I advise everyone to. It looks amazing. The blue track with the white lines is fantastic. So,
Dr. Love?
Yes.
In the meantime, while they line the track, how are the teams getting to the turf itself?
So the paint was done today. It'll actually be dry by tomorrow, but we do have carpets that we put over the track just because the cleats damaged the new track. So that will be commonplace. Those will always be for any game, whether it's soccer, field hockey, football. Those mats will be out for the students to enter and leave the field just to prevent wear and tear, but the paint itself is dry already, so we should be fine on that front.
Excellent.
We viewed an updated instructional space here at the high school. So that space will service one of our classes, and it's located downstairs. Again, a new space that was created this summer. And we talked about the universal pre-K classroom, which we also got the tour in the modular building back behind the elementary school. So that's just a quick look at some of the spaces. We have a quick little tour, some pictures. I know Dave Spittle will go much more in depth when he gives his presentation later this fall. So here on the left-hand side is a picture of the new classroom at the high school. On the right-hand side is what was the all room upstairs in the middle school. You'll see it's now a corridor. So there's now in the middle of the middle school, there's a hallway that bisects the two academic wings. And within there's a conference room, there's an assistant principal's office, and there's a small group reading room, AIS classroom. So those pictures on the right show the middle area. The picture on the left shows the high school. So this is drone footage of the new turf and track. You'll notice the lines are not yet on the track because they were done today, and this was done earlier this week. But I'll take you guys for a quick tour, courtesy of Mr. Lee, who took this video to give you a sense of how drastic of improvement this is from what was there in the past. It's our new logo, no more PD in the middle. The end zones used to, I don't think the end zones had anything in them, did they? Now they say Putnam and Valley.
I see the car.
Those gray areas are the transition zones for the relays. So they clearly delineate where those exchange zones happen. It looks 100 times better now that the lines are down, but you'll notice in the far end of the field that they call the D zone has been turfed. So that creates an additional, it's on the right-hand side of the screen right now, that creates an additional practice area that did not exist. That used to be the track surface, although it was rarely used, only for the high jump. So we now set it up so the high jump can take place on now the blue end of the field, and that green end of the field that is now turf is an additional practice space that could be utilized even during competitions out there. And it's actually a very large space if you go out there and walk around. I don't know how many times we're going to go in circles, but I'll start getting dizzy.
That's awesome.
Very
Outstanding.
cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And the picture doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, we need to do a new one with the lines though. So as I mentioned earlier, we welcomed our universal pre-K students. So 40 students are in the initial cohort, where this is offered in partnership with the YMCA of Northern Westchester. They do offer before and after care available at an additional fee. Their day runs from 9:30 to 2:30. We've really streamlined, and thanks to the help of many in the district office in partnership with the YMCA, streamlined arrival and dismissal processes. Everything is working very smoothly. And one of the things that we're able to offer is actually lunch service. So they're able to order meals from our cafeteria. Those meals are picked up or delivered to their classroom. So we're able to provide lunch actually free of charge to those pre-K students that are interested in receiving that.
Wonderful.
And pictures of some of our newest or future learners here, the UPK students, including my little nephew, Will. who agreed to pose for a picture begrudgingly. So transportation, this is actually our second year with Royal Coach Lines. I have to say it's the smoothest opening of school we've ever had. I'll knock on wood, because I guess it's not over yet. But they were able to fully staff all of their runs. They did practice runs, safety training. Many of the existing drivers returned, so they know the students, they know the routes, they know the parents. We dealt with detours in the first couple of weeks with Wikipede being closed. We're collecting information to make another push for families to sign up for the Beacon Connect app, where they can track the location of their school bus. Those who used the app last year still have access to it, but we need to upload new students into the system and do a new sort of push out for those people to sign up who don't have it. And again, some pictures from our kindergarten bus run and our sort of first days of arrival at Putnam Valley Elementary School. This is something exciting that's really was done in partnership with the Garrison School District and the Putnam Valley School District. And really, Dr. Chandler deserves a great deal of credit for making this happen. I was quickly ready to say no. This is too much work. But she fought through many logistics. We actually had to go back out for bid. And at the culmination of all of this work, we actually ended up being able to work in collaboration with Garrison Schools. So students in Garrison now receive free meals. Those meals are cooked here in Putnam Valley. They're transported to Garrison by Garrison employees. They're served by employees of Whitson's, our food service provider. And so we added the new bid that we were forced to do because we added a school, actually improved the financial conditions, which means we're actually getting more money back for each of the meals we serve, and we're getting money back for each of the meals that Garrison serves. So financially, it ended up being a huge bonus for us. As I said, Garrison does not have a cafeteria, so they've never had lunch service there before. 100% of students bought lunch to school. And speaking with the superintendent at the end of last week, he told me the first week, 87% of students accessed the hot lunch, because I've never had it there before. So 87% of their students accessed the hot lunch. It's the same food that we serve here in Putnam Valley. And as I mentioned before, we receive the reimbursement for their students. We also charge them an administrative fee. There was a great deal of work that goes on behind the scenes to make this happen. So they pay us a base administrative fee for helping cover all of that. And I do want to recognize and welcome, we have a new food service director. Our last director, Sandra, retired. So David Nanarello is our new food service director. And other than the paninis, have you guys had any other food cooked there? Only paninis and pizza? All right. Well, before next meeting, you have to try something else and let us know if it's any good, all right? So we have heard actually very positive feedback. I know the first day for the hot meals that they had made, they sold out, which I'm not sure has ever happened before. So whatever, I don't even know what they made. Whatever they made was obviously a hit, and they sold out of them, and they had to make additional ones, whatever the next hot meal was. So this is whatever sort of the meal of the day, not the traditional paninis or pizza or stuff that's available every day to students. Pancakes. So just an update. I know we spoke a lot about this throughout the summer, and this is now our reality. But aligned with New York State law, all internet-enabled devices are banned in schools. I promised our building reps that this is not during school hours, so they could check their phone for notes during the meeting. So nobody stick their phones in pouches while they're here. So students are expected to leave devices powered off and locked in the hallway lockers, even though I know they all carry them in their backpacks. In the elementary school, yes, we have elementary school kids with cell phones. They're stored in their classroom cubbies. So an update is actually, I was pleasantly surprised, and I met with high school administration throughout the first week of school, and actually I met with union representation for the PVFT today. And I think everyone's in agreement. There's a high level of compliance. The first couple of days of schools where I thought it was going to be really bad, it was going to be really hard, and the students were going to struggle. I have to say, I walked around this school and didn't see a single cell phone in anyone's hand. Even where the students sit along the windows, on the windowsill there, and every kid is always on their phone when they're sitting along the windows, not a single cell phone. There was more laptops out than ever before, but not a single cell phone. So I appreciate really the maturity of the students here in the high school. And I know as a board, we had a lot of conversation regarding whether we lock every kid's phone in a pouch when they enter the building. Did you guys know that was an option? So that was something that we considered, sort of having a pouch for every student. It would be your obligation to lock it as soon as you walk in, and then we would have devices to unlock it on the way out. But ultimately, the board's direction the board went in was to try to give students the benefit of the doubt, that they were mature enough to follow the rules and to not have their phones out, and it was unnecessary to spend that money to lock every child's device up before they enter. Instead, those pouches are only used for those who have their devices out. On average, we've locked up about 6 devices a day. I think the max we've had any one day was 12 devices, so this was with over 500 students, and you know what, 500 students have cell phones on them. So I do appreciate the parents who knew this was coming and spoke with their students, the students who knew it was coming and came in prepared, and really the collective effort of all faculty and staff to ensure that students are following it. And I'm glad we didn't spend $40,000 on pouches that if we're using 6 to 10 a day, we would have never needed. And I'm proud of our students for taking the ownership to follow what the expectations are, and I'm sure it's very difficult. For those who don't know, sort of the progressive discipline is if the device is out, it's locked in a pouch and the student carries the pouch with them for the duration of the day. Yes, we know you can break into the pouches, but that's certainly discouraged. We don't encourage that. For those who can't handle the pouch, they carry the pouch with them for the remainder of the day, and then they have to get it unlocked in the office at the end of the day. For those who are causing destruction to the pouch or breaking it open or doing those type of things, their phone is simply confiscated and stored in the office for the duration of the day. So obviously the pouch is a better option than the office. For students whose devices continually end up in the office, they'll stay in the office until a parent is available to pick it up. Word for all you guys might want to share this with your fellow students. Unless your parent could be here by like 3:30 to pick up your device, the office is closed. So the next opportunity you will have to get your cell phone back will be the following morning. So unless your parent's going to race over here before 3:30, it's very likely that if your phone is awaiting parent pickup, it'll be there until the following morning. And anyone, I think there's only one instance of this happening so far, but anyone who refuses to sort of hand over their device or to put their device in a pouch, then it becomes a violation of the code of conduct, and obviously that comes with a separate set of consequences. If you're we're not going to get into like a tug of war or a power struggle in classrooms over whether or not you're going to put your phone in a pouch or not. So that is certainly a level of escalation that goes beyond the cell phone ban and starts to become insubordination or other things aligned with our code of conduct.
Dr. Love, could the new addition introduce herself? And also, I'd like to hear the opinion of the students, what they think about the cell phone ban.
I did warn them that this question was likely going to be sent their way. And welcome, Sophia. We introduced you before. I know you weren't here. Did you guys win? How'd you do?
We did not win.
You did not win, but I'm sure you played excellent.
We didn't win.
Yeah, I'm sure you played excellent, though, so I'll give you credit for that.
Yeah.
So if you want to just tell everyone your name and what grade you're in, and then I'll let you guys answer the question.
I'm Sophia Randazzo, and I'm a senior. What's the question?
So what are your thoughts? The question to you is, what are your thoughts about the cell phone ban, what you like, what you don't like? Don't give away anyone's secrets if you don't want the whole world to know.
I don't think it's that bad, especially in the classrooms. I feel like most of us have gotten pretty used to it. It's a little bit of an adjustment for like during lunch periods, but I think I'm personally getting really used to it, and I think it's better in the classroom. But
Yeah, I also think it's working very well. Like, I thought more kids would be annoying about it and like it would cause problems, but it really doesn't. And she's right. Like the lunch thing, it's very different because there's people walking around like making sure you're not on it. But so that and free periods is very hard. But
I think it's also nice because we're like all collectively.
Could you
Like-
speak a little bit louder?
Sorry. It's nice because we're all collectively like going through it together, so it's kind of like a shared experience. It's really not that bad. It's kind of nice because it gives you a break because the phones are everywhere and technology's everywhere and always getting better. So it's kind of nice to like be away from it for a little.
Well, that's 3 out of 3.
That's good.
That's good.
I mean, certainly the hope, I mean, listen, there's very varied opinions about especially free periods and lunches like you guys spoke about. But obviously this isn't a Putnam Valley rule, that's part of the law, so that's what we expect. But certainly the main intention is to remove the distraction from students within an educational setting while you're in classrooms. And I'm in classrooms all the time, and I have to say, last year when we started talking about this, I just took sort of an informal poll in a classroom I had walked in, and 16 students were on their phones during the class period. So that's when I realized that this is really a big issue. Some sense, I know you guys are really good at multitasking, but certainly it's a distraction from whatever's going on in the classroom. So the most important piece to me is that that educational time, the instructional time is protected, and it sounds like all three of you also found value in it. Some of the other feedback that I've heard is there's much more sort of conversation happening in the hallways between periods and less of kids standing in corners staring down at their phones. And I know the community lunch is certainly an issue, but I know that Mr. Mello's got a whole bunch of board games going out and trying to find other avenues in which to give you guys some level of escape that doesn't involve a cell phone.
I would also like to say thank you to the faculty and the staff members and administration for helping us follow this policy. So I think that's, we are here as a team, and I think that's very important to recognize.
Yeah, from an adult side or a supervisory side, it requires 100% participation. And that was made clear to everyone that was the expectation before the school year, because if one teacher just didn't allow it, you're almost setting the students up for failure, because then they're used to being able to use it in this class, and then they go to the next class, and now it's not allowed again. So I do agree with you and appreciate sort of this is something that's being universally enforced. The middle school, which we do have phones that have been confiscated, it has confiscated 0 phones so far. So it was never as big of an issue in the middle school, but certainly the law pertains there as well.
I had a question. If you feel that it's beneficial for your mental health and like for your friends groups, I'm not a high schooler now, but I've read feedback from people throughout the state or country who have deemed it beneficial, and it's increased the socialization, like board games and stuff. Just wanted your feedback on it.
I definitely talk to more people now, and me and my friends played Monopoly at lunch the other day. So
Outstanding.
a lot of people are playing games. Some people play spoons, and it gets a little crazy, but
But I love
What
that.
is spoons? Can you describe that?
Where you steal the spoon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
They-
like a circle, and
You
there's
pass the cards and you like grab a spoon.
and there's
I
like
got
one
crazy
person
the other
that's,
day.
like, out if you don't grab it, and it keeps going until there's like 2 people left.
Sam, this was back in your day, too.
More complicated.
Yeah, it's been around a
We've all
while.
played spoons.
Sam, during the next, we'll get a game of spoons going during the next
I
board
may like that
retreat.
as much
Right.
as the bubble bus.
I'll teach you how to
An
play.
item on the list, yeah. Wow, that's great.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is wonderful.
Also, like what you said, I feel like it definitely does play a part in that. And like I said, there's like always people on their phones everywhere. So going to one place where it's not everywhere, it's nice.
Great. Thanks. Great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you
Thank
have
you.
ideas about other things that could be happening during lunchtime, we would love to hear that too, or I'm sure Mr. Mello would love to hear that, Dr. Left.
Yeah.
To
Have your
make it
club
more
started?
fun.
They're starting up.
Yeah, they're
Because
starting.
those are during lunch
Not every-
periods.
That's
I
right.
think, the
That's right,
clubs.
Sasha.
The clubs, oh, right,
Yeah,
right.
so
right.
there will be a lot more things. But also, yes.
Right, yeah.
agree. If there's other things, you want the game of life, you let us know.
Dominoes is a great game.
You can play a game of
Yeah.
Monopoly in 20
I just had
minutes,
to
that's
say
pretty
that.
good. Takes me a week.
How you
I'd say
can
the
play
Monopoly
Monopoly
game
in
could go
one
on for the whole
period? How do you
semester
play
by the time you're done
Monopoly in
playing
one
it.
It's true.
It's gotta be Monopoly Junior.
All the property out there.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Great.
So as always, the buildings are very busy throughout the summer. This is a highlight of just some of the many things that happen within our school buildings. Kinder camp at the elementary school, the Regional Leadership Institute. I think it was well over 100 administrators from around the region here at our high school. Summer Boost, our E&L Academy, Regents Prep, curriculum writing, and obviously those who dedicated a vast majority of their summer to our students, our teachers and support staff that help run the extended school year program here in Putnam Valley. So thank you to all of those who came in over the summer to make this all possible. And certainly, I want to extend my gratitude to all of the departments that make this building and all the other buildings as fantastic as they are. So our buildings and grounds, custodial staff, our technology staff, and obviously our office assistants that are here throughout the summer that make all of this possible for us. So thank you. So a quick look at what's next. So I'm going to provide in a minute a quick update on our upcoming facilities project. As many may know, our high school is beginning year 1 of the IB Middle Years Program authorization process, so they're currently in candidacy stage. We are, especially Jackie, is very excited to announce that Mason, our facility dog, I believe is technically the title, not therapy, facility dog will be joining Putnam Valley Elementary School in a few short weeks. We spoke a little bit about UPK. I know Dr. Berdesta and our kindergarten teachers are very excited about finding opportunities for collaboration with the pre-K teachers. I know we'll be inviting them to some of our celebrations and some of our presentations and workshops, and they'll be working with us during superintendent's conference days and other professional development opportunities, and we really want to make sure that's a close bond and collaboration between those programs. We spoke a little bit about the internet-enabled device ban, and obviously resiliency will be our theme throughout the school year.
Dr. Luck, Jackie, we're going to see the pup, right? He's going to visit us? I want to see this.
Jackie's got a whole tour.
We are planning
a whole
for
tour
Mason
planned
to
for him.
visit on the 25th at our next board meeting to say hello, and hopefully some other guests will be here to say hi and talk about supporting Mason. But yes, he will visit, and then his first day of work will be October 14th.
Let us know when that's going to happen, because I'll bring some dog treats. I love those dogs, man. I do.
I love a fat
I
dog.
love what you're passionate about.
No, many are
Bubbles
better than human
and
beings.
gummies.
I think we are
Bubbles
such
and
an
dogs.
awesome board.
This is like TSA
We're so
saying
much
we're not
fun.
just allowed to feed the
We
dog.
got bubbles, we got dogs. It's just amazing.
Probably are.
Haggerty, so great.
I made that up, but maybe. All right, so as we look forward to, sorry, it's hard to transition away from dogs. As we look forward to the approved facilities project, I wanted us to provide sort of continuing updates as to where we are. So some of the things that have been completed, our architects have held design meetings specifically for the nurse's office. There's been several meetings held between administrators and our elementary school nurses going over that space, designing, redesigning, making sure that the final design that goes to state ed for approval represents what our school nurses really need to effectively utilize that space. So that's been done. Site surveys have been completed, so there's been surveyors over here measuring and making sure they have everything they need for the design phase, especially for our parking lot retaining wall network. We've done samplings in terms of roofing materials, so the replacement of the roof on the academic wings. They had to do many samplings to ensure that there's no asbestos or any other materials that are on there are not hazardous to the people doing the work, as well as samplings for the site work, including like core samplings for the pavement and the subsurface below it. Some of the next steps that are now underway, we're now sort of in this design and engineering drawing process, so the engineers and the architects are working to create what will be the actual blueprints. Once those are complete, they'll go to New York State Education Department for permitting. After permitting, then we begin the bidding process, so we'll have lots of public notice for any contractors interested to submit a bid. Once that bid is awarded, then we need to provide an opportunity for procurement and scheduling, and then ultimately to groundbreaking. We're still hopeful that some of this work may begin next summer, and but we recognize that that timeline is likely too tight for all of the work to be completed. So we do know that some of the work will begin the following summer of 2027. Questions about the project? So the work is underway and still much work to be done. We're trying to squeeze what's usually an 18-month process into just about 12 months for at least some of the work to prevent that 4% escalation cost for anything we could prevent it on.
Kudos to Mr. Spittle, for I know he's very much involved in that. And also Dr. Chen, that was just brilliant, that whole food arrangement, really. And those poor kids never had hot food. Oh my God. That's like Putnam Valley back when I attended. I mean,
In the olden days.
the olden days is right.
Before you move, I have a quick question for Sasha and Crystal, really. The Beacon Connect app, have you guys used that for the buses?
No,
No?
I haven't.
I drive my son off.
Okay, okay.
So it is now fully available to parents, right? So I will definitely be using it in the future then.
Okay.
Yes.
And report back.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will definitely report back. There's an application that you can use to follow the bus.
Yes, yes,
So
okay.
you know
So it's an
what?
app, you log into
Yeah.
the app, it has your information, your bus stop, and it'll notify you. Nothing to see here. It'll notify you when the bus is within a certain distance from your house.
Okay.
It was very successful last year. I know many of our faculty and staff members with kids in the schools utilized it. Dave and I were the first pilots, so my phone would bing every morning because I picked random buses and random locations, and it would tell me whenever that bus was there, where it was supposed to be. So the work that has to happen now is just any new students to the district have to be added. Obviously, kindergarten students have to be added.
Sure.
So that work is underway now, so we can send it to the company. That'll create accounts for anyone who didn't previously have an account. But if you previously had an account, you should be able to log in and just continue where you were last year. All right.
Thank you.
So my second presentation this evening is just a quick update on the regionalization, which we all acknowledge is poorly named, initiative from New York State. So I want to caution, regionalization does not mean consolidation. This is not about consolidating school districts, but instead finding best practices or initiatives that span a region that help to sort of bring schools closer together and offer shared services. So these are all done across New York State. Everybody's required to have these regionalization plans because we are part of PNW BOCES. This plan represents the work of the 18 component districts. So here's a quick visual. This is obviously a presentation that was created and shared by BOCES. It was shared out to all of the component districts and is being utilized in board meetings probably as we speak for many superintendents to have this same conversation regarding what this work will entail. So several months ago, this work began with superintendents and members of cabinet members across districts, where we began to identify goals across the region. Some of the main goals that surfaced across all districts were social emotional learning, SEL, and mental health, pre-K, transportation, workforce development, especially for those students looking to transition directly into employment, but also for those students who want to get a sense of an internship before spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a degree and then realizing it's actually not what they want to do.
Right.
I don't recommend that for you guys. E&L programming, especially for students who are transitioning out, students between 18 and 21, and school security, school resource officers. So there were 4 main recommendations, I believe it was 4, that came out of this work that'll be part of our regionalization plan. What I'll be asking the board is just to affirm that each of these 4 is something that we're interested in pursuing. I will send back our sort of certification document back to PNW BOCES saying that we're on board. The important piece is all of these are things that they're exploring. None of them have any upfront cost to them. So there's no cost of entry. We're just signing up to be part of this work as it's being developed. So the first one is the development of a regional mental health and services. So this includes behavioral health network, including psychiatric services, mobile crisis support, partial day programs for students who need a sort of a transition program, urgent care expansion, especially for students in K-7, and regional SEL training. I could say this is something that in Putnam County is greatly needed. We don't have the same level of access to many of these facilities that Westchester County has. I know that there's been tremendous work done across the county to bring some of these in, and this would really be a centralization of these efforts through BOCES and available to each of the component districts. The second one is cooperative pre-K and CPSE services. So what BOCES would do is they would coordinate pre-K seats. So while we are oversubscribed, we have more students interested in seats available, there's many of our neighbors that are undersubscribed. They have more pre-K seats available than they have students interested. So what BOCES would be able to do would be able to take our students who we don't have seats for and place them in other UPK programs that have available seats.
Wonderful.
So it would provide that same free UPK services to more families in Putnam Valley without without any cost for those families.
Yeah.
And will also at the same time provide those providers in other districts that are undersubscribed additional revenue, which will help their programs continue to thrive.
Fantastic.
I have a question on that. Who would be responsible for transportation if we approve this?
Pre-K, the parents are responsible for transportation.
Yes.
Just like our pre-K program, the parents are responsible for it.
They also mentioned last night that at this presentation that they're going to work on raising the state cost per child so that it makes
Great.
it more advantageous for districts.
Yeah, because right now it's like they're paying for about 50% of what it costs to
transport.
educate a child
Oh, okay.
in pre-K. So if that amount went
And
up,
I guess
that
they
would be
raised
great.
Westchester, but not Putnam County.
No.
Last budget cycle, the state raised the reimbursement rate for Westchester County, but not Putnam County, as if it's somehow cheaper for a school district that spans both counties to provide
Okay.
Yeah.
pre-K services.
Yeah. But if they could organize that
That'd be
to
great.
be able to fill needs on both sides of the equation, that would be amazing.
So the other piece of this is CPSE. We continue to see an increase in the number of students qualifying for CPSE services, and there is definitely a shortage of, this is really where that reimbursement rate matters. It's not the UPK rate, but it's the reimbursement rate for CPSE services. So if you live in Westchester County and you need CPS services for speech, that speech pathologist is paid X amount of dollars for servicing a student in Westchester County School. But if you go to a Putnam County school, that same speech pathologist gets a lesser amount for servicing a student from a Putnam County school. That is the reimbursement rate that changed for Westchester and not Putnam, that they're trying to advocate to have equalized between those two. So BOCES would look to, again, centralize those services. So if there's a speech pathologist that's needed for pre-K programs, if they provide those speech, they could coordinate them easily across a region, as opposed to our special ed department takes a tremendous amount of time trying to coordinate these services just for Putnam Valley students. This would give sort of a centralized scheduling for what those services are. So we hope to provide more services for more kids that need it. The next one is transportation coordination. So BOCES is looking to create sort of a transportation consortium. What this would allow us to do would be maximize buses, especially for out-of-district routes. So if you think about how many buses with most of our out-of-district students, or 1 or 2 students in a bus, how many students' homes or neighborhoods did they pass that are getting on a bus with 1 or 2 students on it to queue in the same location? If you go to some of these places, especially BOCES, where there's 60 to 70 buses queued up to dismiss students, in many cases, a single student or two, we really think this coordination would help maximize services and cut costs. If our bus drives by a Garrison student and a Cold Spring student and a Wappinger student on their way to a school in Poughkeepsie, obviously if we pick up those 3 students, we would receive reimbursement for those from those other schools, which would save them money and gain us money at the same time. So that's really cooperative transportation services across districts to maximize resources and create efficiencies. The next activity is regional work-based learning coordination. And again, this is for students transitioning out of school, looking for database and internship opportunities. What happens now, or districts are constantly fighting with companies for internship opportunities. Whoever gets there first, or whoever's got the in, or who's got a parent that works for that company tends to get those internship opportunities. What this would do would be centralize that. BOCES would take over coordination of all these internship and work-based experiences. So everybody would go to one location, and then they would help districts schedule those. So it's no longer competing with each other, but instead working together to maximize the experiences that are available to our students.
Excellent.
So those are the activities of those 4. These are ideas that are not part of the plan right now, but things that we're exploring in the future. So state support for pre-K and CPSE mandates that we spoke about a little bit before, additional state funding to support all of these programs, and shifting responsibility away from the schools and onto the counties that ultimately provide these services right now. That's the equalization of the rate that Barbara had spoke about earlier. E&L programming for adult learners, 18 plus, we spoke a little bit about that. SRO and school security services. This is a really big deal in Westchester schools. In Putnam County, we're very lucky to have a partnership with both the Sheriff's Department for an SRO like we have here in this building, as well as SPOs, like we do in the middle school and the elementary school. Those are trained, retired law enforcement. They are armed, they're able and capable of responding if necessary, and they come at a significant cost savings to districts in Putnam County because that program exists. That program or anything similar does not exist outside of Putnam County, certainly not in Westchester. I believe the going rate for an SRO in Westchester County, provided by the Westchester County Police, is $280,000 a year per SRO. So if you have 4 buildings, you're looking at over $1 million just to have police in those buildings. So this is looking to create a system and really advocate for the state. For me, the state police is the perfect municipality to have an SPO program. There's plenty of retired law enforcement in the area that would look to make an extra money. State police can authorize that and supervise those SPOs, and they could do it across the entire state, helping all schools stay safe, secure, at a reasonable cost. So that's an idea. And then the other one is sort of going back to a model that used to exist regarding regional substitute pool and staffing hub, having the ability, if you run out of subs, to be able to call a centralized staffing and see if there's any other available subs. Maybe Lakeland has 50 subs and they're only using 40. It would give Putnam Valley access to the additional 10 subs that were not yet assigned.
That's amazing.
So those are ideas. They aren't part of the plan, but they're things that our BOCES is still looking to pursue in the future. So that's the end.
So Dr. Luff, by October 1st, we have to sign up, commit that we're interested in these activities or ideas, or activities and ideas?
Right now, we're just committing to these 4 activities. We could pick any 1, 2, 3, or all 4 of them. So
Okay.
we can make that decision now. I thought we needed a board resolution, but we actually got the certification today. We don't. They will take my signature, and we have to list which ones. So I guess this is sort of our opportunity to have this conversation regarding, I would suggest or recommend to the board that we pursue all 4. They come at no expense to us, and each offers a sense of savings, efficiency, effectiveness that we wouldn't otherwise have. But I would certainly welcome any feedback if you think there's one that we should not include or sign up for.
No, I personally, I think this is a brilliant idea. For years, there was talk of consolidation of districts. Well, this isn't that. It's consolidation of purposes.
Resources.
Right.
Resources, right.
And I love this. Definitely, sign us up. Sign us up for the ideas.
Dr.
I
Luff,
Good, it's good.
I have a question. Of the 15 or the 14 schools that are noted on slide 2, do you know how many of those, if any of those opted out of this program?
There's 18 schools, so the ones not on here opted out.
Okay,
So there were a couple. I don't want to name them, but
okay.
there were a couple of school boards that decided to not participate in regionalization.
That's unbelievable. I mean, it's a great opportunity for every district.
The reality is it's kind of no harm, no foul. They're still part of the BOCES. These programs will be offered through the BOCES. So even though they're not technically signed up for it, I envision them having access to these same things if they do come to fruition.
But I think it's good for us to be part of the conversation anyway.
I
Be part of
agree.
it,
I
you know.
agree, Bob.
Yeah, Barbara and I were both on a regional call with board members
Yeah.
last evening where they sort of shared this with the superintendents. Have already seen it several times, but this was the first time it was shared with board members across the region.
I think it's a great idea.
I think every one of these activities and the ideas are very well planned out,
Yeah.
very thoughtful,
And they're going to help kids.
and they're going to help kids, they're going to help
Yeah.
districts with some of the most challenging issues that we deal with right now in our area. So, as you were hitting those bullets, I was like, yes, these are things that we struggle with, and if we can work together to maximize our resources,
Even better.
I mean, even better, we're going to be able to save a few dollars, maybe more than a few dollars. We'll be able to get more resources for our students and families. I think this is fantastic, so thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really credit Neil Boyle, the district superintendent, and his team. They did a tremendous amount of work to put this all together. And he's really the one responsible. He took our feedback and then had to turn it into something that was regional, represented the needs across the region. And he's really been the one driving this across. So I do want to recognize him and his team. And that's all I got. Thank you.
I know. I have no objections.
I agree, all four.
All right, so we're good with all four?
Oh, yeah,
We're
yeah,
all for it,
definitely.
yep.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, it sounded a little like last night they kept saying that it has to be in by October 1st and the board has to agree, you know. And I thought, okay. It doesn't sound like
No,
it
it's
should
a
be a
great idea.
problem.
No.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, before we move forward, let's quickly finish my report here. So, one of the announcements I wanted to make is just for everyone to stay looking out for the upcoming first responder appreciation events. So I know our football game recognition is scheduled for October 10th. I know the first responder read aloud at the elementary school is scheduled for October 29th, which is closer to the actual first responder day. And we're looking at the 28th or the 30th for our apparatus and equipment event. So we'll be working with all the local municipalities that partner with us for this event, but I just want to throw that out there now so people are aware. And just looking at some of the upcoming events, we have our homecoming scheduled for September 26th. We had our elementary school back to school nights last night and the night before. Our middle school is scheduled for next week, September 16th and 17th. Just a reminder, schools are closed on September 23rd and 24th for the Rosh Hashanah holiday. Our next board meeting is scheduled for September 25th, and public service announcement on behalf of the town of Putnam Valley. The Putnam Valley Town Day is scheduled for September 20th in the town park. Thank you.
Buses from the elementary school, correct?
Parking and buses at the elementary school, Osquana Lake Road will be closed
I hope
at
they
the
have
elementary
enough
school.
parking space up there at the elementary. That's always been a problem.
They park right in the
Do
field.
they park on the field?
Well, we tried to stop them from doing that because it became an issue.
But other than Dr. Loft laying in the road.
I know.
To keep the cars from going by.
We don't advocate for Dr. Love playing in the road.
Well, I think of John Sanders.
There's some people around here that would very much appreciate me laying in the road, but it sounds
A little scary.
All right.
Thank you. I'll get back to you on the things for the town board this
Yep.
month. Okay.
Yep.
Do that. Okay, so let's move on to new business. Number 1, please.
Resolved, the Board of Education hereby appoints Barbara Palmley as the voting delegate for the 2025 NISPA Annual Business Meeting to be held on October 16th, 2025 at 4 p.m. And thank you, Barbara, for doing that
You
again.
are welcome.
Yes.
Hopefully it
Second.
will end before midnight, but it looks like we have a lot of resolutions again this year. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Number 2, please.
Wow, Barbara, you're busy. Resolved, the Board of Education hereby appoints Barbara Parmley as the Westchester Putnam School Board Association Liaison and Advocacy Liaison.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you again.
Abstentions? Also, we got a thing from Melody today. The New York State legislators are meeting with school district leaders on November 19th. And so, Dr. Luft, I guess you and I are supposed to go?
Where is that, up in Albany? Or,
No, it's not. It's at a school in Bedford, I think, or,
The legislators?
yeah, it's for...
It's in Harrison.
Okay.
Harrison?
So that's through the Lower Hudson Council School Superintendents, which I have the privilege of serving as the president-elect for. So we're actually making changes. That event, which used to be very powerful, has kind of dwindled over the years. Less and less of the politicians show up. More and more send sort of staffers from their offices. And we've made it clear that that's no longer acceptable. That this is an organization that represents 75 school districts, so there's a tremendous audience that they would have access to. And if they themselves are not coming, their staffers are not invited. So we're hopeful that more and more of the legislators themselves will be in attendance and be able to have real one-on-one conversations with these individuals and hopefully drive meaningful change.
So
Good.
if you have to sign me up, I'm available, so.
Thank you, Barbara.
Okay. Did we do all in favor? Yes,
Aye.
I did.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, resolution passes. Number 3, please.
Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby accepts the resignation of Andrea Bain effective August 20th, 2025, for the purposes of accepting another position in the district as per document number AB091125 and in the official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, resolution passes. Number 4, please.
Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby accepts the resignation of Sharon Sway Lum effective September 21st, 2025, as per document number STL091125.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, the resolution passes. Number 5, please.
Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby accepts the resignation of Maxine Worden effective September 28, 2025, as per document MW091125.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, resolution passes. Number 6, please.
Resolved on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby appoints Denise Pellegrino to a probationary appointment of 5-hour campus monitor effective September 2nd, 2025, with a probationary period of 52 weeks, ending September 1st, 2026, at the elementary school on Step 3 of the CSEA salary schedule as per document DP091125.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, resolution passes. Number 7, please.
Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby appoints Cheryl Constantino to the position of part-time campus monitor effective August 27, 2025 at the elementary school on Step 4 of the CSEA salary schedule as per document number CC091125.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, resolution passes. Number 8, please.
Resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby approves an amendment to the appointment made on May 6, 2025 for Liliana Costanzo, E&L teacher at the middle school, to be paid at the daily rate of $352.14 and modify the probationary term upon completion of New York State E&L teacher certification.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, resolution passes. Number 9, please.
Resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby appoints Alexandra Arenas to a 5-month leave replacement as a Spanish teacher at the middle school effective October 12, 2025 through April 1st, 2026, at the substitute salary of $150 per day, $150 per day as per document AA091125. Ms. Arenas' Spanish 712 certification is pending.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, resolution passes. Number 10, please.
Resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby appoints Byron Munoz to a probationary appointment of school bus driver effective September 2nd, 2025, with a probationary period of 52 weeks ending on September 1st, 2026 at the Transportation Department on Step 10 of the CSEA salary schedule as per document BM091125.
Second.
Questions or comments?
We met Byron at the new student or new teacher interview.
did.
Great, great.
He's
He's so
amazing.
excited.
Yep.
So,
We are very fortunate to have him.
very happy to have him.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, resolution passes. Number 11, please.
Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby appoints Andrea Bain to a 4-year probationary term as a teaching assistant commencing on September 1st, 2025, and terminating on August 31st, 2029, in the teaching assistant tenure area. at the annual compensation in Step 4 of the CSEA salary schedule as per document number AB091125. Ms. Bain holds teaching assistant level 1 certification.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Resolution passes. Number 12, please.
Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby appoints Christina Turner to a probationary appointment of teacher aide effective August 27th, 2025, with a probationary period of 52 weeks ending August 26, 2026, at the elementary school on Step 1 of the CSEA salary schedule as per document KT 091125.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Resolution passes. Number 13, please.
Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby appoints John Boniello to a probationary appointment of part-time bus driver effective September 15th, 2025, with a probationary period of 52 weeks ending September 14th, 2026, at the Transportation Department on Step 1 of the CSEA salary schedule, prorated as per document JB091125.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Resolution passes. Number 14, please.
Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the following regular prices for adult meals: $3.49 for breakfast and $5.22 for lunch.
That's cheap.
Second.
Questions or comments?
I'll be here for lunch.
Can I get it delivered, my panini delivered to the district office?
I would love a hot
Can I
panini
get-
for $5.29.
Can I Uber Eats a panini?
You can definitely Uber Eats me, but not from here.
Not from here? It'd be far more expensive from somewhere else.
Just seems to me it would be easier if the numbers were rounded. They didn't-
We don't go easy.
There's tax anyway.
Okay, that rounds it? Okay.
Probably.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Number 15, please.
Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby approves an overnight trip for the high school science research students to attend a science competition in Albany, New York from February 4th, 2020. From February 4th, 2026 through February 5th, 2026.
Second.
Questions or comments? How many students usually go?
I think there's 4.
No?
I don't
This
know.
is 4 on
I think it says 4
document.
on the.
Oh, on the actual
executive
document?
content, yeah.
4.
Okay.
They did fill out all the required paperwork requesting the overnight trip.
Good.
Okay.
Can you
Nice.
tell us a bit about how it's funded? I'm just curious. The question was asked, so.
So for science research trip?
Or any overnight trip.
Overnight field trips.
Well, a majority of them are paid for by the individual students or fundraised for. So
Right.
the example I could give is and we have a couple of them on the table. Obviously, the most expensive overnight trip we participate in is when the cheerleaders go away for national tournaments. So there's airfare, there's hotel, there's transportation, there's all those things. They raise every penny of that money, so every single student athlete can go on those trips, and it doesn't cost the district or the taxpayers anything for those trips. So all of these organizations do some sense of fundraising to either pay for the entirety of the trip or to offset the cost of the trip. And that would be true in some cases. Families have to chip in if their students. I think wrestlers have their overnight trip. Families have to chip in order to cover the cost of that. I can't speak to the details specifically of science research, how much is fundraised versus not.
This one says they didn't ask, according to the executive content, it says they did not ask for
any money.
money from the families, so that's why
Okay.
I was one who asked
I could
the
find
question.
that answer. I don't know on the top of my head. Okay.
I'm just curious.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Number 16, please.
Resolved, the Board of Education hereby approves the letter of advocacy pertaining to the New York State electric bus mandate and authorizes the district clerk to send same on behalf of the Board of Education to the following officials: Senator Rob Rollison, Governor Kathy Hochul, Assemblyman Matt Slater, Congressman Mike Lawler.
Yes. Second.
Questions or
About time.
comments?
Outstanding, outstanding. I
Okay.
love that letter and put the state on notice. It's the most ridiculous mandate they could ever think of. My God. Thank you,
Bubbles and
thank
like
you.
Did we get a second?
And now, yeah, he
He
seconded.
did second it.
He definitely seconded.
Enthusiastically.
If not, I'm showing that he seconded.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes.
Okay.
Dr. Ruff, did you have something to add?
I was going to go back to the other one. So I logged in and looked at
Okay.
the details for the trip. So the total anticipated cost of the trip is $1,300, assuming that we're able to utilize our own transportation. And it notes in here that it is part of the high school budget. So the high school budgeted trip.
Good.
Perfect. I missed
That's
that.
how it'll be
Thank you so much.
financed.
Yep.
It's in the backup on board docs for that application.
Very good.
Okay, number 17, please.
Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby adopts the 2025-2026 Professional Development Plan for the 2025-2026 school year as per document PD09-1125.
Second.
Questions or comments? This is very thorough, very nicely done,
It is.
Jackie.
It is.
Nicely done.
And a thank you to
Good,
all
thank
that participated.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you thank
great.
Jackie, who oversees this committee, and all of the faculty and staff who participate on the professional learning committee. They really do all this work to make this possible.
Thank you, Jackie.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Number 18, please.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby approves the superintendent's terms and conditions agreement with Dr. Jeremy Leff to continue serving the Putnam Valley Central School District as superintendent of schools from June 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2030, and authorizes the board president to execute said agreement, a copy of which shall be incorporated by reference within the minutes of this meeting as per document JL091125.
Second.
Questions or comments?
Just want to thank each of you for this opportunity, and I look forward to continuing to serve the Putnam Valley School District.
Sustainability, continuity. Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes.
I also thank you for not voting no.
Okay.
We did. Okay, public comment on any topic.
Joe. No bubble bus.
No bubbles.
We're glad you came.
I'll bring spoons next time.
Yes, do that.
You guys started this whole spoon conversation.
Listen, we're constantly learning new stuff.
Exactly.
It's fine. We can learn from
Lifelong
younger
learners,
people.
Absolutely, even on old games. Good evening. My name is Joe Ferraro. I want to come up here because it's never too early or the wrong time to obviously not talk about budget. And I've seen some, because tax bills came out recently, and of course, social media gets involved with tax bills, et cetera, and some pieces of clarity. Some of the narrative was that we were told there was not going to be a tax increase, and that I wanted to remind folks that, you know, being on the committee, I recognize that I'm closer to the data than some other folks. That the no increases on taxes was relating to the bond project and not to the annual budget. So they are two different things. You did two different votes on the same day. So for anybody who, you know, had any confusion at all, that was definitely the case, that the taxes are not to be impacted because of of debt falling off the back end on expiring debt for previous capital projects.
So Joe, can I just jump in there real quick? Because that's a very invalid point, and I know for anyone who attended any of the forums, we always tried to emphasize that fact, that while this project will not result in an increase in taxes, it is not in any way connected to the tax increase that results in the cost of services and contracts and everything else, which is our operating budget. Mm-hmm. So I know that if we go back and look at those presentations, that fact is definitely stamped all over those presentations, where we were trying to be very transparent, where the facilities project would not incur an increase in taxes. That was separate and apart from the operating budget, which not only us, but nearly every school district in the entire state has tax increases just to maintain the services they currently provide. So I appreciate you bringing it up, and we definitely did our best to emphasize that fact throughout the process.
And then just some additional clarity, talking about some of the increases were crazy and the mill rate, et cetera, I'm going to use my example just to kind of, since it's all available publicly anyway. The school tax levy increase was 2.99% according to the tax bill. The impact for me, particularly based on the way the value of my property, it went up 4.03%, or $550. But that's before STAR, which was a $950 rebate. So in actuality, it was zero as far as the balance there. And then there was another narrative that taxes went up because of the library, and yes, taxes did go up because the library budget did go on the ballot, and there was an increase in the library. And again, that was a tax levy increase for the library of 4.96%. The impact to me again was 6.06%, or $9.21.
Right.
So just I wanted to throw out some real numbers out there that are not just hyperbole, it's just the actual numbers. That's all I want to say.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. That's important points.
Anybody else? Okay, topics or presentations for upcoming meetings.
So as I mentioned earlier, our next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, September 25th, and our elementary school will be giving their opening of schools presentation. Our two meetings in October, October 9th and October 21st, will be our middle school opening of schools presentation on the 9th, and our high school opening of schools presentation on the 21st.
Okay,
Can we also have a report on the tech center attendance?
I think the high school typically includes that as part of
Okay,
their
great.
presentation.
Thank you. Good.
So I could work with Matt to make sure
Yeah.
that's in there.
board member comments, just because it may come up at the next meeting. Tonight, the West Putt Advocacy Committee is meeting to determine where does West Putt stand on the resolutions that are going before the, NISBA.
Right.
To shorten it, I'm going to make sure that you all get it. If you have any questions about any of the things,
you.
if you say them to me, then we can just discuss the ones that people may have questions about or concerns with, because that might shorten it. Because I know sometimes to go through, 28 or whatever
No
resolutions
need.
takes some time. So this way, you'll get that, and then it'll make it a little shorter. Any other comments?
Just a couple of things. Number one, I want to thank the PTA again for always being out there for the picnic. It was awesome, and they're always supporting our kids. Also, kudos to Dr. Podesta, who put on, I thought, just outstanding back-to-school nights. Many of us were there, and the staff were there, and the parents just filled the place. And I just want to comment on the parking spaces. They are the most, I die laughing when I drive by and I look at some of the things. You got, that's all folks, with Porky Pig there, and a bunch of them. My favorite, though, is, if you're reading this, I'm late. I think that's so brilliant. I love those things.
I love them too.
I look at every I bring my
too.
dog Billabong, we drive right through, and we're looking back and forth, so it's cool.
They're so pretty. I'm not that
Yeah,
skilled. Like,
it's nice.
Did you three participate? Great.
awesome.
Do you want to give tours, board tours of your parking spaces?
You'll have to let us know which ones you
I'm game. I just want to thank everyone for what has, from a parent side, been perceived as a very smooth opening of schools. I'm sure it was not nearly as smooth as it looked, because there are always kinks and things that happen, hiccups that happen, but from my side, it was seamless as a parent of 3 children in 3 different buildings in our district. My kids, every one of them, were so excited to come back to school, and their feelings of school were just confirmed on the first day. So really, thank you to our staff, thank you to the administration, everybody who worked so hard, our custodial staff, our maintenance staff. I mean, what an amazing job they did over the summer to make our buildings beautiful for our students. I am still just in love with the fact that we have 40 pre-K students on our grounds. While we're partnering with someone for that program, it's just so great to know that we have 40 babies that are just being educated and having exposure to our elementary school at such a young
Which is
age.
great.
That is just fantastic, and I celebrate the elementary school for really wanting to collaborate with that program. It's just going to be better for our kids in the long run. So thank you to everyone.
Going third is tough. I echo both of those sentiments. Thank you to the PTA. I want to add also, and the transition to the start of school was excellent. I also want to say that the board went on a tour of the buildings, and they were fantastic. All the updates look better in person than they possibly do on the camera. And it's a great place for our kids to be. The floors are so shiny. Everything is great. Dave does a great job. All of the people who work here who have specialty knowledge of plumbing and specialty knowledge of painting. Just a big thank you to everybody who saves us money every day.
Yeah.
It's
Good.
really, the school looks great.
It's really great. I also just want to shout out the PVEF too, because they have done such an amazing job of raising funds for our schools and our teachers and the grants that they give. And they did a tremendous job presenting at the back to school nights at the elementary school. They really do such a great job for our community, so I wanted to thank them as well. And come out to the trunk or treat. I don't remember the date right now, but it's coming, and I'll be signing up for a trunk, so come on out. I'll have lots of candy.
Two things. Number one, our tour took us to the elementary school, the Maker's Mark new classroom, and it's just amazing. We were all blown away in Ms. Bruno's classroom, so that was great to see. And just to follow up on Joe's point regarding the taxes, I think it's a great opportunity for us to communicate to our community better or accurately on this. I think it'd be great if we could have some type of a FAQ on our website talking about the tax rate, tax levy, the mill rate, the bond, like whatever the communication we could provide to our community, be educated on this, I think will be beneficial to us.
Good point.
So I had one item, not nearly as exciting as everything you guys had to share, but I do anticipate before the next board meeting needing to convene the audit committee. And I just wanted to be able to clarify if we have board members for the audit committee or if we need to elect new board members, because our plan is to have the audit committee meet prior to the September 25th meeting, and then to have the internal auditors present their findings during that meeting, and then be able to vote to approve those findings during the meeting.
I talked to Grace earlier this evening. So Tom Sawyer is the chairperson of that committee. He's a community member, very active in the fire department. We've convinced him that he really needs to be head of this committee, and he's graciously accepted. Jeanette and I serve, but if anybody else wanted to, you would be welcome. I'm trying to think if there was somebody else. Guy Cohen
There were a couple
is
other
another
committee
one.
members. It'd be great.
Stacy
if-
Tompkins was for a while, but I don't think she's come the last couple of
not
years.
the last couple of years.
And I'll have to look back. But I'll get the names to Grace so that she can send out an invite.
But
That-
as well as
Thank
that,
you.
if there's anyone interested, any community members to participate,
Sure.
you could just let us know, right? Should they contact Grace or who?
Just probably contact Melody,
Okay,
and then Melody get that information to Grace, anybody's interested.
okay.
Yeah, so the audit committee meets twice a year usually, one for the internal audit, one for the external audit. The auditors go over their findings in detail with us, and we ask questions or concerns or raise issues. And then they, when they present at the board meeting, usually the committee either recommends that we accept their recommendations or that we don't accept. We've always accepted their recommendations, but we have a choice. So if anybody, community member would like a really short committee, twice a year, interested in finance or good with numbers, if you send an email to Melody at the district office or call the district office, we'd welcome anybody on the committee that, would be interested. Thanks for reminding
good.
me. Okay, any other questions or comments?
Good to go.
Look,
And
and
it's
we
not
made it by
quite
your
8:30.
8:30.
Look at this. Dr. Luft, you hit that
This
nail on
hardly
the
ever
head.
happens.
It won't happen every time, but as promised, the first one, you get home before
We
your
should
bedtime.
try to make it happen every time, I think. Dr. Luft?
I knew you would get Sam's support for getting out of here by 8:30.
I'd
Thank
like-
you all for coming. I hope you
Thank you.
enjoyed
Yes.
your first
Glad you're
meeting.
here.
I'd like a
Thank you.
motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, see
Good
you on the
night,
25th.
people.